LLA, thank you for joining me for our midday show every day around 12 o'clock. So I'm a few minutes late. This is our easy breezy midday update on your second stimulus check, your second stimulus package, your third stimulus check, your third stimulus package, your first stimulus check, your first stimulus package, and now your Fix-It stimulus package, which is the Cash Act, the Fix-It bill. The Fix-It stimulus package. I don't know what to call it yet. I call it the Fix-It stimulus package. Oh, and also your state stimulus check and state stimulus package. Boy, oh my goodness, the bacon is ready, says Josie. I see a full room, and thank you for joining me. If you're just joining me live, I'm direct from Los Angeles, and please subscribe. Please go to the first channel, subscribe, because this is now a 24-hour news channel. I'm recording from 1 a.m. on the West Coast to 1 a.m. the next day. 12 hours of programming around the clock. I'll be next with you at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time for check. That'll be taped. And then followed by purple. Then third stimulus check, also taped, I believe, unless I go live again. And then back with Being a Mitch, which will be live. Boy, what a day it is. I have all the breaking details from the Senate. I have all the stuff across the board. And it's just going to be one of those days. What did I miss? I'm here. What did I miss? We're only 1 minute in here. So if you missed anything in this video, I'll have an update at the 15-minute mark, and then I'll have an update at the 30-minute mark. And the kerfuffle, the kerfuffle of the Senate for your second stimulus check today was about as dramatic as like Alexis Carrington and a dynasty scene, full on Colby's versus Alexis. Boy, I've never seen anything like this. The update as you have today is that the Cash Act, that CASH Cash Act, which was passed in the House of Representatives yesterday to amend your second stimulus check and first stimulus check, will was put for a vote today in the Senate, but it did not set up for a vote. That does not mean it's dead. So let me procedurally tell you where we are. I told you it was not going to get passed today. It's too early. I told you it's going to take a little while, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So let me tell you procedurally where we are. Procedurally, you had the second stimulus package passed last Sunday by the president, signed by the president last Sunday. That's now law. Stimulus check is out in the mail. It's coming to you. I'll be going over all the second stimulus check items in this video as well. That is law. Nothing's going to change it. The first stimulus check package in March, that's law. But this bill, the standalone bill called the Cash Act, passed the House yesterday, landed in the Senate today. I had told you it was not going to pass the Senate today. It's going to sort of marinate like some nice lobster in the set. Do people marinate lobster? I don't marinate lobster. Do you marinate lobster? Drop in the comments if you marinate lobster. I don't marinate lobster, but it's going to marinate in the lobster den for a few days, if not a week or two. The day started out incredibly great as we heard that both Republicans in Georgia who are up for runoff races are supporting the Cash Act. Now, I'm going to give it, I'm going to know what people are going to say. Well, they haven't voted yet. Let's just see when they vote. I know what you're saying. That they said they would vote in favor of it. Both the Republican senators out of Georgia who are up for re-election, that runoff on January 5th, are saying their vote in favor of the Cash Act. That was really the most shocking news today, because every additional vote you get is a big vote. And I'll go over procedurally what that means for you in a short bit. Our wonderful Bernie Sanders had promised to do an override, a filibuster of an override vote for a veto of the defense bill. Yeah, what the hell is that? It's just like, what defense bill? What override? What filibuster? What is all that? Needless to say, as of the time of this recording, he's still not done it. Folding like a launcher. Can you get the launcher? He's folding again. It's just, he didn't do it again. He once again said he was going to do something and didn't do it. He still can't do it. So what happened? Well, if you tuned into Mornings LA, you actually had the viewers on air in the comments giving me play-by-play, because it was erupting while I was live taping Mornings LA. But let me give you a rundown of what happened on the Senate floor. Boy, here's the recap. So the people on the Senate floor were talking about different bills at the same time. and Mitch wanted to talk about the defense bill. Chuck Schumer wanted to talk about the Cash Act. And so what happened was Chuck Schumer was like, "Can you zip it, Mitch? I want to talk about the Cash Act." So Mitch chose Chuck Schumer, who's the Senate Minority Leader, then tried to do a unanimous consent vote on the Cash Act. A unanimous consent vote is when you don't have enough people in place because they're all in Cancun with their nice Mai Tais, relaxing over Christmas holidays on your salary that you pay them for your taxes. They're not there, so they don't have enough people to pass a vote, so they do unanimous consent. It only needs one objection to not pass a unanimous consent. So Chuck Schumer called for unanimous consent, which never was going to happen. I mean, it's just never going to happen. And Mitch McConnell said, "No, down." So instead of Ron Johnson, I guess Ron Johnson's at the lobster buffet today. I guess he was busy. Ron Johnson did not reject this time. This time it was Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell had no problem saying no. So he blocked Chuck Schumer, sort of dramatic. So here's Chuck Schumer running down the field with the Cash Act as in his hand, like he's trying to go for the goalpost on a football field. And there's Mitch McConnell with the lobster pads, football pads, and he's like, "No," blocked him. So there's a lot. Mitch dressed up as a lobster blocked him. So then we had a next twist. Bernie Sanders, independent of Vermont, asked McConnell to set up a roll call vote to follow the veto override. What is that? Roll call vote to follow the veto override. What is this? Call veto Corleone. I don't know what this veto override is. It's just, what is all this? So what is a roll call vote? I talked about this last night. I said, there's not enough people in town, so you need to do a roll call vote. A roll call vote is basically saying we do not have enough people in town. I told you this last night. I told you that this Cash Act would take a couple of days. Let me close the window. It would take a couple of days to get passed. Because there's not enough people in town. They're all enjoying their beautiful beach houses in the South Pacific. And so Bernie Sanders said, "Can we have a roll call vote on the Cash Act after the veto override for the defense bill?" And Mitch said no. Now you see how already Bernie Sanders is folding like a lawn chair. I started the video if you tuned in on Mornings LA, you heard me that Bernie Sanders said he was going to do a filibuster. He was going to do a filibuster to block a veto override of the defense bill. At this point, your head's probably like exploding. It's like, what is all this stuff? What is all these words? Well, Bernie Sanders basically didn't do what he's going to say again. You get 2 for 2, Bernie. You didn't do what you was going to say, promised to do again. So this time he just asked Mitch politely, "Mitch, hi, it's Bernie. Can you do a roll call vote before the Cash Act for the stimulus checks, before you do a veto override for the defense bill?" Mitch, no. So then came Chuck Schumer out of the corner, and Chuck Schumer's like, okay, the leaders of this country, President Donald Trump, the President-elect Joe Biden, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, the Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi are all in agreement. Let's get this done. Do we turn our backs on struggling working families? Do we respond to their pain? Said Sanders. And they said, yeah, yeah, we do. We do turn our back. And so what was Mitch McConnell's response? No. No. So then Sanders responded by blocking a quick passage of the veto override. So after Sanders politely asked to do the stimulus check Cash Act bill around the same time we're doing the defense bill, and Mitch said no, then Mitch set up the veto override for the defense bill, and Bernie Sanders said block. Bernie Sanders said block. Okay, so now everyone's just blocking everyone. It's just like block, block, block. It's like it's like Space Invaders goes Senate floor. So Sanders responded. This is Politico. Sanders responded quickly by blocking quick passage of the veto override, leaving the possibility of keeping the Senate in session into New Year's Day to finish consideration of the defense bill. Oh my goodness. I guess I'm going to be working a little bit more. McConnell made it clear that the Senate will complete the task Failure is not an option. I think he has that on like on some framed picture on a wall. Failure is not an option, except it just has a picture of him. His failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. I urge my colleagues to support this legislation one more time when we vote. So what the hell's going on? So what's going to happen now? As someone just asked the question. So what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now is someone saying there's no sound. Chuck Underwood. Is anyone else going to able to hear me? I assume you can hear me. I see comments. Chuck Underwood saying no sound. I assume you can hear me. Um, I can hear you, says Real Life. I can hear you, Ivy. There you go. I can hear you. Okay, good. So the interesting thing as you have now is basically what I predicted yesterday, is that this Cash Act is going to marinate there. It's going to marinate there. It's going to sit there. And I told you to take a couple days. I originally said a few weeks. I yesterday said it was going to sit there until at least we see what happens in that Georgia Senate race, because at that point you'll have a majority. If the Senate falls to the Democrats, you'll have a majority and pass the bill. But what's really shocking now is you have those two swing votes, the two Georgia Senate candidates who are Republican say, no, we're going to vote for the Democrats on this. We're going to vote in favor of it. So what's really interesting now is that you may actually have enough votes to approve this when everyone is back around with a roll call vote. You may have enough people in Congress to pass this because more of the Republicans are jumping ship and voting in favor of it. This takes a real strange twist for Georgia, and I'll have the update about that later in this video. And at the 15-minute mark, I'm gonna have a big update for you from the top of the video, so you get up to date where we are. But boy, I mean, a lot of big twists and turns. Again, your stimulus check from Sunday is on its way. It's coming. It's coming in the mail. This does not block that stimulus check. This gives you additional money on top of the stimulus check. Lord, does anyone have questions before I continue? Because I know that is just a mouthful. Congress can't get along, says someone in the Instagram room. Do we need a majority vote? I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea what a roll call vote is. I just know they need more people in place. They do not need as many people as who vote. They do not need as many people as the last vote. When they passed the $600 stimulus check bill, they had more than they needed. So they don't need as many as they had before, but we're already picking up people. So we picked up the two Georgia people. So we already picked up two people, even if we lose some people, some Republicans who voted in favor of 600 and now are going to vote against it. I don't know if we're going to lose any. Lindsey Graham also has said he's going to vote in favor of it. So we actually picked up three now. I correct myself. We've picked up three Republicans who are going to vote in favor of the Cash Act. That's on top of Sanders and Hawley, who of course were going to vote in favor of it as well. Cancel Mitch. Can Mitch be brought up on? Someone asked me who can call the vote. As you saw from my opening, anyone can call the vote. So Mitch does not have to be the person to call the vote. So many questions for one person. Yeah, and it's 2,300 people in the room. That's just real fast. Yes, Marco Rubio. I always forget. Is Marco Rubio a senator or a House representative? I always forget where Marco is. I think it's a senator. I always forget where Marco's lies. Yeah, it's a little. Anyway, I always forget where Marco's located. There you go. I mean, it's just all really shocking. What are they voting on now? I'm so confused, Lalate. This is the Cash Act. This is a standalone bill to modify the first stimulus check and the second stimulus check. How it modifies it, I will update you at the 15 million mark. Can people in the room say yes or no if you have watched my prior recordings and know what the Cash Act is? Because I always forget. I don't have a sense if people know or clearly understand what the Cash Act is, or have I have to really repeat it? Because it is overwhelming. I see a lot of yeses. I see no nos yet, so that's really good. So everyone knows what the Cash Act is, and you know what the provisions are. Okay, so good. I don't have to repeat what's in the Cash Act. I don't. Good. That's wonderful. I see no nos for that. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm just procedurally telling you where you are on the Cash Act. Oh, there's one note from Barry. Well, there you go. So that's good. So if I repeat it, I'll say it fast. We're coming up on the 15-minute mark, and I'm going to give you an update. The next update will, and Susie says no, and Miss Ashley says so kind of, and Gwen says no. Okay, so I will give you an update on what the Cash Act is. Oh, Angela says no as well. Okay, so I will give you an update on what the Cash Act is right now. Thank you for joining me live from Los Angeles. This is Holidays Lalate, our midday show that's lighthearted, easy breezy, except when the wind blows open because it's very breezy outside today. I'm direct from Los Angeles. This is our midday show, and thank you for tuning in. This is Lalate, which is now a 24-hour news channel. So much exciting news across the board on your second stimulus check, your third stimulus check, and your first stimulus check. Why? Because of a thing called the Cash Act. CASH, the Cash Act. The Cash Act is a fix-it bill. It's a bill to fix the first stimulus package from March and the second stimulus package bill that was signed by the president on Sunday. The second stimulus package bill that was signed by the president on Sunday, that check is in the mail. That check is coming to you. All the things in the second stimulus package bill are now law. They're all getting set up to get implemented. I'll be going over all those details for you. If I have time in this video, I'll do them later in the video. So what is the Cash Act? It's a standalone bill to fix things. It's to fix the first stimulus check and to fix the stimulus check from Sunday. What is it going to fix? $2,000 for individuals, $4,000 for a married couple, $2,000 for adult dependents who do not get a stimulus check under Sunday's bill, and for individuals in a household, $8,000, and giving you a retroactive stimulus check for people who did not get a first stimulus check. It fixes the first stimulus package of March by giving a retroactive stimulus check to people who didn't get that first stimulus check. That's how it fixes the first one. And it fixes Sunday by giving a stimulus check to people who didn't get one who don't qualify for Sundays. And it also fixes the amounts by changing $600 on Sunday to $2,000 for everyone. Basically, you would get an additional $1,400 in the mail to bring you to $2,000. The Cash Act was passed in the House of Representatives yesterday. It landed the Senate today. I had told you I did not think it was going to pass today. I had told you it's going to sort of marinate for a few days or a week. Why? Because there's too many people out of town. And when there's too many people not on the floor of the Senate, they need to do what's called a roll call vote. And there's not enough people there to vote in favor of a bill. When there's not enough people to vote in favor of a bill, the bill just sits there. It sits there. The day started with incredible great news as we learned the two major swing votes, the two Georgia senators who were Republican, who were up for that runoff race on January 5th, said they would vote in favor of the bill. Marco Rubio said he would vote in favor of the bill. And Lindsey Graham said they would vote in favor of the bill. Suddenly, there's a lot more Republicans voting in favor of the bill. Moreover, I reported to you going into yesterday that we don't need as many Republicans last time who voted in favor of a $600 bill to vote in favor of the $2,000. There was an excess amount last time. You can lose a few and still get it passed. So that's the really good news. The day started with Bernie Sanders saying he was going to do a very complicated procedural thing to get the stimulus check for a vote. It didn't work. I didn't expect it, or he didn't really do it the way he said he was going to do it. So what happened today? What happened today was a lot of petty block you, block me, block you, block me, where it wasn't called for a final vote. That's the easiest way to say it. It wasn't called for a final vote. So the bill's not dead. It's just still sitting there. It wasn't called for a final vote. A lot of posturing, a lot of games. So when would it be called for a vote? When would it be called for a vote again? And when could it actually get a final vote? First, it's likely to get a really good vote after January 1st when everyone's back in D.C. That's the first thing. Second, it may get a vote by the end of the week. Why? Because it's being tied up on and among other things they have to do on the Senate floor. There's some items, housekeeping they got to do. And they're sort of saying, well, if we're going to do this, you got to do my thing. If you do your thing, you got to do my thing. And what's the big thing they got to do? This defense bill, which is very, very nonpartisan. Republicans love it. Democrats love it. Everyone loves it. And so they're basically saying, well, if you all love it, then do the stimulus check thing at the same time. Otherwise, we're not going to let you do the defense thing. They're basically saying, let's do everything together. And when is that sort of a time frame? That's Friday. That's really quick. But And the defense thing has to be done quickly. The defense thing has a deadline. This stimulus check thing, the Cash Act has a deadline, but it's not right away. I think it's January 5th. So you have some time for the Cash Act. The defense thing has to be done the next few days. And so you hear a lot of people saying, I'm going to block you, I'm going to block here. They did block. They blocked this person, blocked that, but it doesn't mean it's dead. It just means they couldn't call it for a real good vote today. So I don't want you to think it's dead. And I also don't think I want you to think it's in the mail. It's not in the mail. It's marinating like the lobster himself. As I say it. There's now 3,000 people in the room. Wow. Do adult dependents increase the family size? No, that's a great question. So it would be let me go over the deal. Let me go over again what's in the Cash Act. It is not law. It is the item du jour. $2,000 for everyone. Family of four, $8,000. Maximum is a family of four, $8,000, and that'll include everyone. Everyone is included. Adult dependents, people that are caregivers, lots of people that would normally not be included. This would bring you to 2,000. It would not be 2,000 plus 600. It would bring you to 2,000. And there's a retroactive check back to March for people who didn't get the first stimulus check. Those people who didn't get the first stimulus check, you would get an additional check. So wow, a lot of stuff to marinate for the lobster. Just incredible. And yeah, there was a lot of folding chairs today. There were a lot of people saying they were going to do stuff, and they were folding chairs. And there you go. What I want to go over is some of the exciting stuff in the second stimulus package, because I want you to get ready, and I want you to be prepared, and I want you to be with me, because there's going to be a lot. I need rent help, someone just said. So that's exactly where I'm going. You know exactly what's in my brain. I love it. I want you to be ready to get these things. People are loving my teeth. Are my teeth good? They're not that good. I want you to get ready for these things right now. Where's sirloin and the bacon? You don't say sirloin with the bacon. That's sort of scary. When will we begin the $600? Yeah, let me start with that. When are you getting the $600? Okay, so the $600 is going to land in your bank account if you sign up for electronic receipt, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or you pay the IRS electronically 10 days from yesterday, approximately 10 days from yesterday. If it's paper check, additional week. There you go. Then the next thing I want you to know is that the next item you would likely get is the SNAP increases, about 15%. SNAP increases will be automatic. So if you're already on SNAP, those will kick in. I think that's going to be very quick. The thing after that, the third thing I think you will get is the unemployment assistance. Oh, well, the most obvious thing you're going to get right now is the extension of the eviction moratorium. The CDC eviction moratorium is extended to the end of January 31st, so that's automatic. Look at the wind picking up, my goodness. But the next thing physically you're going to get in your hand is the unemployment. That is your UI, your PUA, and your UI or PUA, and your FPUC. I want to tell you routing times for that before I go over details. Routing times are so important because I say this all the time. Your UI, your unemployment benefits for this week, for the first week of January, and your second week of January will likely be delayed. They will likely be delayed. And so I want you to be prepared financially for that first week of January. You're going to hear me say it in every video, because there may be a tight crunch where you won't get money on time that first and second week of January. The only people that won't have this problem are states where there's extended weeks of benefits, where they have kept you active on your status stays active. Then you're not going to have a problem. But people who have gone inactive, that are going to be put back to active, there's going to be a delay. Delay means delay getting money. It does not mean you're going to get cheated out of money. It just means there's going to be a delay. Then the UI and PUA would come to you with the $300 on top of it. The $300 I think starts about yesterday, and you don't have to do anything. It's automatic. I want you to go to your state's unemployment website every day and check and see whether you've been switched from inactive to active. Make sure you certify for benefits. The faster you certify for benefits, the faster you get paid. There's 3,000 people in this room. When I started this channel, I barely even had 3,000 subscribers. And when I pressed record on April 25th, I told viewers, when these things go live, PUA went live on April 28th, I told you there's going to be delays. I want to tell you, and I want to say this in the deepest heart of my heart, I had people on April 28th who tuned into this channel and stayed as my viewers to May that got 0 to almost June in the state of Florida and Texas. They waited 2 months because these states' unemployment computers are very, very old. Whereas people in California got paid in 24 hours. Not to say California is great or anything. There's just states that are slow. Now, they got better computers since then, but there's just things that are slow. And I want you to be financially prepared for that first or second week of January where things may be tight. 3,000 people in the room. Wow. So that's the next thing you'll get. What happens after that? Um, Rent, child support, free broadband, I expect to be very slow. I expect the next thing to go live is the EIDL grant for inner cities and the stimulus check for farmers. Farmers are going to get an additional stimulus check and ranchers. I don't know how it's going to come. I assume you're going to have to apply for it. And it sounds sort of like an EIDL grant because they had one before. I believe that thing may come in early January. The SNAP, I think, is going to kick in right away. I think the SNAP will kick in 1 or 2 weeks. Someone just asked how soon for the SNAP. SNAP, I think it's just right away. I mean, all they do is just add it in there. Just get the money from the federal government. They just put it right in it. Um, that's what's really good news. Hold on a second. Oh well. uh, um, that's the great news. So the SNAP does not. We're not. There's no increase of utility of eligibility in SNAP. The next thing that will really kick in after that is, and the slowest thing is the rent, the broadband, and the child support. I fully expect those to be really slow. I expect them to be about a month out or 2 months out. And how do you get it? It's going to be routed. Well, the rent is going to be routed from the federal government to your states, which will then give to your cities and counties. Thank you for the super chat. And it's just going to take time. And it just takes time for that money to get routed from the federal government to the states and counties. And you're going to have to apply for it. The broadband, is that just for children or is that for the community? Great question. The broadband, the child support, and the rent is for low-income families. $49,000 in 2019 earnings or less. 49,000. So it's for your house. It's for your actual house. This is really, really, really needed for people. Again, I think that's going to be very, very slow. But that's why I want to tell you what's going A, B, C, D along the path. I also want you to get, I want you to get state stimulus. I want you to get rent from the nonprofits, utilities for the nonprofits, because that money would come in the next few days and would help you that first or second week of January. First or second week of January is going to be tight. It's going to be tight. I don't want you to be in a tight situation. What I miss, I'll have an update for you at the 30-minute mark as always. If you ever tune into any of my live recordings now on this live feeds on this channel now, I do an update at the 15-minute mark and the 30-minute mark, so you get it easy breezy in case you miss something. Kerfuffle, yeah, it's a big kerfuffle today. The kerfuffle in the Senate was just insane. It was just absolutely incredible. We need to push for the checks for people who make less than $50,000. Amen. Um, I think you meant child care. What did I say? Child support? I'm in child care. I'm so sorry. Child care, not child support. Child care. Happy New Year to you too. Can Mitch modify the Cash Act? Yeah, that's a great question, Lori. Yes, the Senate can always modify a House bill. That's what Nancy Pelosi always was worried about over these few months. They call it a poison pill. They can change it. They can make it better. They can make it worse. They can butcher it to death. But to do that, you need support. It's not like you can just, support it. I see some comments in it in the chat coming in that say this was blocked. Coming up in 15 seconds, you can have an update across the board on what is happening. Actually, in 1 minute, you have an update. But the $2,000 stimulus check is not blocked permanently. It was just blocked for a vote for today. Again, I'm going to say that again. The $2,000 stimulus check was not blocked permanently. It was just blocked for a vote today. I told you it was not going to. I did not expect a vote today. There's just not enough people in town. They need more people in town to push for the $2,000 stimulus check. So the fact that it was blocked for a vote for today does not mean it's dead. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, Donna. And there you go. Boy, what a day it is. Oh my goodness. Will there be more surprises in the afternoon? I don't know. But Boy, a lot of great stuff, and there's some hater in the room, and you're gonna get blocked as soon as you get blocked like Mitch block stuff as soon as I get out of this chat. You know who you are. Coming up on the 30-minute mark, what's my personal opinion? I'm ecstatic, Deborah. What's my personal opinion? I think that if you get one or two more Republicans, it's gonna get done. I'm just shocked how many Republicans have now supported it. You don't need a lot, and thank you, Johnny. The fact that the two out of Georgia, those two swings, and Lindsey Graham, Lord. Now they haven't voted, so it's just I'm just crossing my heart that they say they're going to do what they say. But boy, what a day it is! Thank you for joining me at the 30-minute mark. Boy, what a day it is. Your $2,000 second stimulus check Cash Act bill was not blocked permanently for a vote. It was teed up for what's called a unanimous consent, which you already know what that is. I detailed that early on this channel. It means that everyone in the room consents to it. No, blocked. So that doesn't mean the bill is dead. It just means it's not going to be voted upon today. The bill will be teed up for another vote later in the week, and then after that, it would likely get a bigger vote as soon as more senators are in session next week. It needs what's called a roll call vote. They need more people in town. This Cash Act provides an incredible relief to viewers that is just shocking. And what's really shocking today is that we have support across the board, which we did not expect to ever see. We see support from two Republicans out of Georgia. There's incumbents who are up for re-election on January 5th. We have Lindsey Graham. We have Marco Rubio. We have a lot of people saying they're going to vote in favor of the Cash Act. This is on top of Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley. What happened today was a kerfuffle. It was a lot of dramatics that meant much of nothing. The end of the day was the bill is still there. It's not dead. It's not dead. It was just called for a particular type of vote today, which no one thought was going to pass, and it didn't happen. Moreover, a lot of the promises that Bernie Sanders said he was going to do didn't really come to fruition yet. Now, he can still do it again later in this week. But what's really at issue here is now two things. Thank you for the super chat. Is not so much also the support from the Republicans, but whether this is going to really be anchored upon a defense bill with they're setting up for a vote later this week. They're trying to set up for the vote today as well. And so ultimately the big question is whether this vote will come to fruition by the end of the week. You're going to see a lot of dramatics between now and Friday. The net result is that the Senate will remain in session because of Bernie Sanders' moves today. That doesn't mean there's going to be enough people in the room to pass something by roll call vote, but it's getting very excited very quickly. Join me on afternoons at Lalate, where I come back live, come back taped on Check, then Purple Power with State Stimulus, 10-15 minutes later, and then I'll be taped for being for Third Stimulus Check and Third Stimulus Package. And then I'll be live for Bean and Mitch, who goes over what's going on with your unemployment. That's just going to be so confusing over the next few days. And then join me again on Evenings at LA. What a day it is. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for the 3,000 people who are in the room. Also, like this video and hit that alert button on the front channel so you don't miss a video when I go live. Thank you for the great day. Stay safe, stay calm, and stay positive. And as always, stay at LA for more.